last week, last week, during the week, I was coming home from eating at Kung Food in Covington, Kentucky. It was raining. It was C motherfucking G. And I got behind a new Sportster, one of the new Nightsters. I had temporary tags on it. And kid riding it, and you could tell by the way the kid was stopping and taking off that this seemed to be the first time he'd ever been on a motorcycle, or maybe the second. But he obviously was not a seasoned rider. He wasn't like a kid who'd been on dirt bikes or mini bikes or scooters or anything. He really was like terrified. You could tell how tense his body was and how straight he was going around the little, curves in the city streets. He was not leaning, he was turning. And I felt a deep sense of sickness, a fear for the kid. At the same time, I wanted to be excited for him because his life of adventure, his life of motorcycling adventure was just starting. And I was like remembering that time when I was a young guy on a motorcycle, and how motorcycles changed my perspective of the world. And when I look back at it, the huge world that opened up to me and great friends and experiences I've had because of motorcycles is like, it's like the best thing I've ever done in my life was throw my leg over a motorcycle. At the time it was out of necessity, but now it's strictly out of it's something that's who I am. And I felt that sense of warm brotherhood, for lack of good words, with this kid. Like he was one of us now. He was me. He was part of the people who chose a superior form of transportation, and he chose a Harley Davidson. And he didn't look like a typical Harley kid. He was wearing like a t-shirt, he had a backpack on, jeans, and sneakers of some sort. But boy, did I have a sense of fear. I was thinking, oh my God, this kid's, he's got, I hope to hell he signed up for a motorcycle safety course. I hope he knows somebody can help him out. But I felt a sick sense of fear for him, and I made a note that I could see on the temporary tag what dealer it's from. Is from the dealer that I've dealt with. And while I like my salesman, the dealership is owned by, like all dealerships anymore, by big auto franchises, automotive dealership franchise owners. And they treat customers just like they do car customers, asses out the door. And that is not part of the Harley culture. And I don't think I can change that, but I was going to make a note. I'm going to talk to the general manager of the dealer and say, hey, this is what I've seen, and I don't think it's cool. And then I thought to myself, you know what? This is a top-down culture. This is a culture that has to change. And if anybody's going to change it, it's going to have to be me. So this is me throwing my resume into the ring to be like vice president of operations, something where I can go in there and help make a change. I'm not trying to influence it. I'm trying to say, hey, the Harley Davidson culture has been this. And what you might want to make it like sell as many as Mustangs or Camaros or Hellcats. That's not who Harley Davidson is. It really is a family. It's a community, and your legacy is that. And that's what people buy when they're buying into it, and you got to treat it that way. And taking care of the customer. And while I know there's a certain amount of liability on ensuring that the customer can ride or teaching the kid how to ride, there is a little bit of a liability thing you should take when you're like, you see this kid not being able to ride in the parking lot, maybe you should go, listen, we're going to get this home for you, and we're going to contact Motorcycle Riding Safety Riding Foundation. We're going to get you in immediately. We're going to get you in a course immediately. And you're going to do this because you're one of us. It's not that we're going to mock you or make you feel bad about not doing it, because everybody started at some point, even if you were older than a kid, But we're going to take care of you because we want you riding with us forever. That's how you build long-term customers. And let me tell you about the first time my family rode motorcycles. My uncles were in clubs in the 60s and 70s. In fact, my Uncle Jim was in the club that the Bike Riders movie was based on around the same time that that whole thing happened, in the general area where it all happened, in Cincinnati, Dayton, Ohio area. So I grew up with motorcycles in my, feeling like this is who I am, this is who I'm going to be. But my uncles would come and get me and my cousins and my son and little brother, and we would go to motorcycle dealerships. And before Eastgate Harley existed on the east side of Cincinnati, there was an outlaw, and I don't mean outlaw as an outlaw club, there was an illegal Harley dealership. It was a satellite franchise dealership from West Virginia who had set up a dealership in Fort Thomas, Kentucky, and also had a little shop in Eastgate across from a drive-through on Old 74. And my uncle took me just to go there to get parts. And this, you're not going to find this officially in history because this is one of the things Harley Davidson don't want to talk about. But anyway, my uncles took me there, and he knew the service manager. Who was the service manager? He was the parts guy, and he was the sales guy, and his name was Charlie. And he had a little bit of a limp. I don't know if that was a permanent thing or not. He wore greasy jeans, chain-driven wallet, biker engineer boots, and cut-off T-shirt and bad tattoos, and long-haired, greasy long-haired biker type. I felt all my uncles were like that, so I felt very comfortable. And they had the new 1977 lowrider on the showroom. And I remember as a little kid, like that was like really appealed to me. Now my uncles not so much. They were chopper guys. They were old school chopper guys, and they're like, I had heard them talking about how much they didn't like it. But the salesman's like, hop on it, kid. And it had like the stuff around it, like strings on it, so you couldn't get on it. And he said, go ahead, get on it, kid. And I climbed on it as a little kid, 7th grade. Well, I don't know how old you are when you're 7th grade, but I was in 7th grade. It was 1977. I climbed on that thing, and I remember like knowing at that moment that I was a customer. When I was old enough to be able to afford one of these, I was going to be a customer, and I was going to be a lifelong customer. And here I am, around a 2024 Lowrider ST. A direct relative of that original 1977 Lowrider, the gray with the red tank, the gray with the red emblems and cast wheels and drag bars. And so I become, he didn't try to sell me nothing, didn't try to sell me poker chips, koozies, toilet seat, t-shirts, nothing. He just let me sit on it, and I become a customer that second. And you got to treat customers like that. Like, you're playing the long game. Harley Davidson's playing the long game. You're wanting customers for 10 to 20 years from now. And I'm the guy that can help that. For one, I was thinking about that kid because it was raining. It wasn't raining hard, but it was raining. Like, every new customer comes out of that. Guys never bought a Harley, never bought a motorcycle before. You got a packet, a new packet, little backpack, rain gear. I know your rain gear is expensive, but this is like a little gift. Like, thanks for joining the corporation. We're going to give you this nice rain gear. It's expensive rain gear because you're going to need it, because your adventure is about to start, and your adventure is going to get you wet. There's sooner or later you're going to ride in the rain, and we want you to ride in the rain. We want you to leave the house in the rain to go do your adventures. And a nice set of deerskin gloves, like Harley only deerskin gloves that you can only get from buying a new Harley. There's no other way. You don't buy them off the shelf. It's only for buying a new Harley. And if they need gear, pants, jacket, boots, or shoes, whatever, helmet that's not an HJC helmet, like a Harley Davidson Simpson helmet, you finance that into the deal. So when that guy walks out there, he's got his PPE on, his personal protective equipment. And for the people that's coming back buying another Harley, you have a thanks for staying packet. You can include gloves, maybe rain gear, whatever. You can, that can change. But you have a packet, a booklet in both of them, like, hey, here's what we're about, and welcome to the family, or thanks for staying. That's just one of the ideals. You know, it's not about these how many miles you ride. It's that you ride, that you commute, that this is a valid form of transportation, that you're going out there and having adventures. Because face it, in this economy, which is a common thing to say, you know, these days, in this economy, people are not taking cruises. And perish forbid you take a cruise when you see the inside of a ship and you drink till your liver's about to fall out, or you can get on a motorcycle and you can go have an adventure. Figure out how to strap a tent and a sleeping bag, you know, learn who your independent bike shop is, learn who your Harley dealership is, learn who your local bikers are, make friends, have camaraderie. And I'm the man that can create that. I'm the man that can, you know, take the new CEO and like be his, like, you know, constant voice of reason. No, we're not doing that. We are doing this. This is who we are as a corporation. This is our mission statement. We're taking care of the customer. Customer first. Customer always first. Over profit. Quality and customer. You can figure out some other, you can sell enough poker chips, you can make the money, or sell whatever. But customer comes first, and the customer experience comes first, and that cultural history, that legacy comes first. Like, this is who we are as a company. So yeah, if you're gonna hire me, aside from the big salary you're gonna pay me with the travel expenses and motorcycles hidden all over the country that I can fly to constantly, nonstop, you're going to have to pack up my ST, my AK, FGC9, my John Lee Hooker albums, and C motherfucking G and move to Milwaukee. We're going to have to come to some agreements, not just on money. So that's my resume. It's, you know, oh, you need some references. Okay, call Keith Ball. Call Keith Ball and say, Keith Ball, motherfucking Flinch. We're going to hire motherfucking Flinch to be our operations, head of operations. He's going to keep us culturally and historically accurate and on the straight and narrow. He's going to be our new CEOs. He's going to be in all the board meetings that upsets the board members, and he's going to hold everybody accountable. Yeah, call Keith Ball. See if I'm not the man for that job. Let me see. Call Chopper Dave. Chopper Dave out in California, out in Long Beach. Call Jesse James in Texas. Jesse knows who I am. Call Stag. Hey, Stag. Call Andrew Rosa, New York City. You know, I've got a good frame. I've got a good reference page. Call my buddy Kurt. You can contact me here, and I'll give you Kurt's number. Me and Kurt, I went to bring Kurt to Milwaukee with me too. Yeah, so I'm gonna need a guest house where, you know, makes enough money for a guest house for Kurt. Woo! So yeah, this is what we're doing. This is my resume. So my regular viewers, you don't have to watch this all the way to the end. This is my resume. This is my open letter to Harley Davidson for hiring me. This attitude about customers out the door without a care, that's a top-down problem, and that has to change. Yeah, I need this lane. I could jump out there and get ahead of it. I beat the rain anyway, so I usually don't do this on this is Monday morning, and I was a little bit worried of Monday morning after Mother's Day hangovers that it might be a little crowded and aggressive, because over the weekend I got seen some road rage on the highway on usually a light weekend of commuting to night shift at a steel mill. And that's another thing. I've worked in the blue collar industry for my entire working career. I know blue collar people. I know bikers. which, by the way, we're going to have famous blues. All our events are going to have famous blues guys at all our events. Famous blues. Albert King, he's going to be like, he's going to wear Harley T-shirts. You know, just bringing these weird bands in, that just because it's just like, I don't know. I think that we need to be put back on the straight and narrow. Sure, the dealerships can hire these weird bands and stuff, and relevant bands, but my resume is just going to keep on going. I'm just going to keep on talking. Well, we are till we get to high exit anyway. I'm grateful for this. I'm grateful that I even thought that this is an option. That this is like a career. Because then I realized, like, sure, Matt's be CEO. He knows how to use Excel. He probably knows how to do a PowerPoint. I just suck at all that. You don't need me to do that. You need me to get up there and give motivational speeches like, hey, this is who we are, this is what we're doing, and we're not doing that, we're doing this. And Matt, we're going to argue. We're going to argue. Or whoever the new CEO is, we're going to argue. We're going to have it out. We're going to maintain the integrity of this corporation forever and ever. And I'm going to be on the road a lot. I'll be out there riding with the riders, regular people. Make some changes in the dealerships within their parameters. I know that they probably got contracts and shit. They're going to be upset, but in the long term, it's going to be long-term customers that come back, young Johnnies, young Flinches who follow bike after bike after bike after bike because that's who they are. Face it, the Indian Corporation existing right now, the only reason it exists is because the people that are unhappy with Harley Davidson. And for a whole corporation to exist because they're unhappy with the treatment that they're getting at Harley Davidson or something to do with that is a shame. And they're like mailing it in. They're not even trying, and they're staying in business. Yeah, we're gonna make sure that they have to work their asses off to compete against Harley Davidson Corporation. And it ain't just about horsepower and power and who wins on Sunday. It's about the cultural treatment of the customer and the historical way that the customers have felt like they've been treated. We're going to listen to the customers. We're going to treat them like historically, like they were proud of all of Harley Davidson, just like they were in the 50s and the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. Something changed. And I believe it happened in the 90s. I absolutely believe it happened in the 90s. But we're going to fix it. Yeah, we'll also bring Dave Edwards in. Talk to Dave Edwards too. At least have coffee with Dave Edwards once a week. Walk around the museum with Dave. On that note, I'm almost home, and I'm going to go home, take a shower, and go to bed because I worked all night in a steel mill. Peace. Oh yeah, I think you're supposed to end resumes better than saying peace out, fuckers. So yeah, sincerely yours, John parentheses Flinch Thompson. Haha. You can contact me below, or you can figure out how to contact me. Yeah, I'm not that hard to get a hold of. Call my buddy Pete. Pete will know. You know how to get a hold of Pete. Or Ton Beerpoot. We'll be bringing him from Europe also. He's going to be doing a tour of the he's going to be on his chopper doing a tour of the Harley dealerships when I get hired. Right? Right. Okay.